Welcome back to the channel. We have yet another review for you today. This one is Disney's Artemis Fowl.
Captain, my captain.
I'll be back.
I'm the king of the world!
Iron Man.
And before I get into the review, obviously consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ding that bell to stay up to date for when I post my next video. Now, as for Artemis Fowl, boy is this a train wreck of a movie. Oh my gosh, this one is absolutely terrible. Artemis Fowl is about a young criminal prodigy who hunts down a secret society of fairies to find his missing father. This movie being based off of the popular children's book from the early 2000s, obviously based off of the same name, Artemis Fowl. And if you have read these books, I guarantee you will hate this movie. Now, this movie was in production hell for years. I think the first trailer for this movie came out almost 2 years ago, and now the movie is being released on Disney+. And I think the fact that it was released on Disney Plus really should have said something, because Disney has done a pretty good job of trying to protect their properties during this pandemic. For example, they moved the release dates of both Soul and Mulan, but with this movie, they didn't do that whatsoever. They dropped it immediately to Disney Plus, and I think they did that because they knew how big of a box office embarrassment this movie was probably going to be if it hit theater. So I think they were trying to save face by just dumping it on Disney Plus and not charging people to sit in a theater to watch this awful movie. So as I've been saying, there is bad and then there is whatever Artemis Fowl is. This mess of a movie is absolutely terrible, and I think that this is probably the worst, if not the worst, live-action Disney movie ever made. That's how bad it gets. And the thing is that the plot is an absolute mess. At an hour and 35-minute runtime, you think, oh, this should be a breeze of a movie to get through. It is absolutely not. This felt like a marathon. I kept checking the time to see when exactly and how much time I had left in this movie. Now, it felt like I was watching this 4-hour-long Martin Scorsese movie, but if Martin Scorsese was a terrible director and his movies were long and boring, that's how this felt. If you took Men in Black, Harry Potter, and Spy Kids, took the worst movie from those franchises, put it together, it'd still be 1.5 million times better than whatever this movie is.
Good to know.
The main character is played by Ferdia Shaw. I hope I pronounced his name right. Now, this is his first acting credit, at least that's what it says on IMDb. And I feel really bad for this kid. I hope that he gets another shot, because I think this movie might have put him about 15 to 20 steps backwards instead of a step forward, because his performance in this is terrible. Now, I do understand that he didn't have much to work with because the script is a nightmare, but his performance definitely doesn't help. He shows no emotion whatsoever. It feels like every line he says is forced, and it's just a really bad performance. Also, what the heck is Judi Dench doing in this movie? Also, what the heck is Judi Dench doing with her career? Her last 2 movies, she literally followed up Cats, probably the worst movie of 2019, with this movie, Artemis Fowl, which might be the worst movie of 2020. I think at this stage of her career, she is just collecting paychecks, getting the money, and getting out, because I don't know what she's doing. Luckily, she's had a really good career up until this point, but man, her movie choices the last 2 movies, yikes. But by far, the worst part of this movie, it's not Judi Dench, it's not the kid that plays Artemis Fowl, it's not the abomination that is this plot and storyline and script. It is Josh Gad. He is terrible in this movie, and this movie is already unwatchable, but he makes it unbearable. He is so hard to listen to. His character narrates the entire movie, and the entire time he talks like this. I'm Batman.
The man. Oh no. This isn't about the father. This is about the son. Artemis Fowl.
I'm not even kidding. Can you imagine trying to listen to a movie of narration? And the thing is too much narration can already get on a lot of people's nerves. Now add that voice into the mix, big yikes. This movie absolutely sucked. Do not waste your time, or do, because this might develop a huge cult following for how bad of a movie it is. And if you were racing to get Disney Plus because you wanted to see this movie because you loved the books as a kid, don't. If you already have Disney Plus and you want to waste 1.5 hours of your life, then I guess go right ahead. I'm going to give Artemis Fowl a 1 out of 10. That's how bad this movie is. I've said bad probably 100 times, and I can't say it enough. We'll be sure to see you guys in the next one.
See you around. All right, check you later.
Bye.